I thought I'd do a quick video just about the countershaft seal, because I've watched a couple online, but there's a couple of details missing. It was leaking in the countershaft seal, which is in here. Bike hasn't been used for a while. I bought it second hand and then fixed it up. I use impact driver to get out the two bolts, two nuts, Phillips head up and down. If you don't have an impact driver, that's worthwhile buying. It did start to strip the bottom one, and in the end I had to use a bit of map gas just to heat up the area, and then that cooled everything off and managed to get it out quite quickly. If you don't know what I mean by impact driver, that's impact driver. As you tap it, it turns a little bit, and that helps you get out all sorts of things in case at the moment it's got the Phillips head on it. I'm just going back through the manual. I've got three manuals here. I've got the climber, factory manual. On the factory one, it does say not much. It basically says, you know, if you've got the gearbox apart, to use a special tool to get it out, which of course it's easier to put a screw in there or just find another way to get it out. And then it just says use a bearing installer set. The climber manual, a lot more detailed. It gives a whole section here. A couple of little things it says is when the sprocket goes on, flat side out. That's important because I've done this before and then wondered which side is supposed to go out or not. Another thing is another important point is the notch side goes in. That's another key point. It also says install a new O-ring into the shaft spacer and then apply grease to the seal lip, spacer and O-ring. So that's another thing that we don't want to miss. When I get to the, this is the Haynes manual, there's a much smaller section which is just covered in this area, little paragraph here. And inspect the seal behind the engine sprocket, see illustration. It says tap in a new seal with a socket the same diameter as the new seal. So it's going back to what the factory says about using the special tool. Just find a socket that's the right size and don't bash the hell out of it, just do it slowly. I think that's about it in terms of detail. The rest you can pretty much figure out from other videos. I just thought because there was a lack of information referring back to the factory manual, or a couple of important keys you could miss in watching another video, you might sort of miss what I did and have to come back to a normal video to have to come back to something like this to find out a couple more details.
Hello, Michael.
Yep. Okay, one final. This is the Moose Racing countershaft seal kit. It's got your bearing, which is notched on one side, and then you got the seal and the two rubbers, and then a new thing that gets bent over. This is the all ball bearings one, 254025, and exactly the same. So really no difference between them. No idea about quality. I think they're probably produced in the same place. One comment I would make is neither of them, when you buy a carburetor kit, it comes with new screws. These both should come. I had hoped that one of them would come with screws, and neither of them does. Usually I have these things sitting here. I don't live in a normal country where you can receive stuff straight away, so I have multiple of these sitting in my house for the day that I need them. I've got a few DRZs here, and I fixed a few as well. So there you go. That's a basic rundown, and the rest you should find out just easily. Just putting the new bearing in, taking the other one out is pretty straightforward. So yeah.